Is Janine replacing Barbara as the new matriarch? Class is back in session with the season 5 premiere of Abbott Elementary. Spoilers if you haven't seen it. It's customary for a premiere to set a stage for the rest of the season, and I love that they did it by having a work conference. This made all the exposition feel like part of the story instead of like clunky and out of place. One of my favorite announcements was of this new teacher that used to be Barbara's student. This is going to bring in so many interesting dynamics to the story. The biggest one being about Barbara and change and her considering retirement, which was part of my bingo card for this season. But more than that, the introduction of this new earnest teacher is putting Janine in the new role. We already know she's a leader, right? She thrived at the district, and despite the way that they tease her, they all like her and respect her and let her lead. But I was so happy to see her embrace the role of mentor, especially since her mentorship relationship with Barbara was never two-sided. I get that that's like part of Barbara's whole allure, is that she's like, I don't really want to teach you, I'm so good. Truthfully, the dynamic between Janine and Barbara is why it took me so long to like Barbara in the first place. That and the fact that Barbara be stuck in her own ways. So it was very refreshing to see her learning new music, because even though Barbara could be a little bit of a prude, new music is different, and I can understand why it could be hard for people to get into it. Something about Gregory's demeanor makes me feel like he feels away after losing the principal position. I think he enjoyed being principal, and although he doesn't express it in this episode, I really hope that it comes up later. Also, they're totally getting engaged. I'm calling it once again. My favorite bit of the entire episode was Jacob teaming up with his mortal enemy to tell Melissa how terrible 8th graders are. I'm not a teacher, but I do be taking the one train, and I can say from experience that 8th graders are terrible humans. I can't imagine talking to them, let alone teaching them. So I'm glad that they gave her a lesson in what it's like to interact with these type of children, because Melissa was acting like she knew everything. I'm glad to see that Ava's happy in her relationship, but I still want her to pursue entrepreneurship. And I'm praying that this relationship with Alshon doesn't become a center of her storyline. Although I suspect it won't, because they've shown that she still as cutthroat as she was before. Finally, they're showing us that the district is still keeping an eye on Abbott, and I think they're going to be the big bad of the season again. That being said, this episode was really fun and cute. I especially like watching Gregory teach Mr. Johnson how to ride a bike. It was so cute. For that alone, I'm going to go ahead and give this episode 4 out of 5 Frankie Flames.